Hello, this is Faith at Faith and Books. I can't get the lighting right. I don't know. I feel like my face looks all red and it's kind of weird lighting. But anyway, I don't care about that. I just finished watching Tilly's Shelf doing the spoiler tag, and that inspired me to also do the spoiler tag. And I know it came out a couple weeks ago, and I know I saw somebody else, maybe one or two others, but I can't remember who I saw. Anyway, it's an interesting tag, mostly because I don't really care about spoilers, and I'm always kind of surprised when other people are very passionate about them, because I don't really think I always read for the plot. Lots of times I already know what the ending is. I want to, I want the language, I want the beautiful writing and the character development and the nuance and the description and all that kind of the ideas. And so I don't place that much emphasis on what happens in the plot, though it can be important. It can. Anyway, so this is the tag, and it was created by Scott and Nell over at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, and I'm not familiar with that channel, so I will have to check it out. And I will put their link below. And so here there are 9 prompts. Well, the last one is a tag thing. Okay, so the first one is, what do you consider a spoiler? I guess it's a spoiler, and I'm very influenced by Tilly right now because I just finished watching her, and I resonated a lot with some of what she said. So I'm just sort of going to be repeating her, just, nodding in agreement, what she said about certain things. But anyway, I think a spoiler to me, the most important kind of spoiler is if you, blurt out who got killed, who did the murdering, who the murderer was. That's like the classic spoiler, right? Because people read mysteries to have that suspense and try to figure out who did the murder, right? So, so that would be a spoiler that I would consider, yes, that's a spoiler. However, there's plenty of times where I've watched a mystery as a movie and then gone and read the book. So I already knew, but like Tilly said, I often forget who the murderer was. So I have a bad memory, and that's often a blessing in this situation. So so I guess that would be the biggest spoiler. But I'm kind of insensitive to spoilers because, like I said, it doesn't bother me that much, and so. So what happens is I think I'm overly cautious sometimes because I'm not sure where the line is, where you might possibly spoil something. And so I tend to want to be really reticent about giving away plot points or anything. I don't know how well I do. So I guess a spoiler for me would have to be the obvious thing, and then I don't know where the line falls. I assume it's when you give away some major plot point, right? If somebody, like Tilly said, if somebody dies, that's a big thing. Or somebody winds up with somebody you didn't think they would wind up with, or whatever. Or you find out the reason why somebody did something that was a big dark secret. Whatever. So that's me on spoilers. I just don't find it that big of a deal. And so I don't feel like I have a strong definition of what a spoiler is. Prompt 2, does the genre you're reading impact what you consider to be a spoiler? Like I said, mystery, yeah, that's an easy one. If there's something shocking at the end that you didn't expect, if you give that away and the whole point of the story builds up and then it catches you off guard, the ending is kind of the shock ending, then that kind of book would be a spoiler, I think, if you gave away the surprise ending. But I don't know. I don't think it would. I don't think nonfiction would qualify. Although, again, I'm just jumping off from what Tilly said. She did say that sometimes memoirs can be, and I don't know why. Why would that be a spoiler? But she was using a particular instance where a lot of people died, and she didn't want to know that who was dying in this memoir. But I wouldn't consider nonfiction to be something that you could spoil. I don't consider. I read a lot of older books, so it's like. And again, she gave the example of Anna Karenina. I saw the movie a long time ago. So. I don't know. The genre, I would say mystery, or if it's a surprise ending. Prompt 3. All the best bits are in the trailer. Sometimes the synopsis can be too detailed. Do you research books prior to reading them, or do you go in blind? Occasionally I go in blind, but a lot of times I won't pick up a book. I'll hear about a book and it'll take me years to actually get around to reading it. And so I do tend to know about the book, or have heard about the book a lot before I pick it up. Prompt 4. Sometimes the introduction or translator's notes can spoil the ending, especially for classics. Has this ever happened to you? Like I said, I don't pay attention, so I don't, if it did spoil the ending, it doesn't matter to me that much. But I remember when homeschooling my older kids, I was told that you read aloud retellings for children of Shakespeare, to introduce them to Shakespeare. So I was doing that, and at the same time we had bought season tickets, and my son got really upset. He said, "Why are you spoiling the play?" For me to understand Shakespeare, I want to know the summary first, so I can go in and figure out what's going on. He wasn't like that. He just intuitively understood what was going on, and he didn't want to know the plot before he went in. So he didn't need that in order to enjoy Shakespeare, whereas I did. I needed a sort of a Shakespeare 100 or something before I can go in and really appreciate the play. And so that surprised me. I thought I was helping him. And it seemed to be the general rule when you're introducing children to Shakespeare, to let them have these retellings. But he didn't want it. He considered it spoilers. So that happens to other people. It doesn't happen to me. Prompt number 5. Name a time somebody spoiled a novel for you. I can't remember a time because, again, it doesn't make an impression on me usually. So I don't remember. Number 6. Have you ever spoiled a novel for somebody else? I'm sure I have. In fact, I spoiled Shakespeare for my son. I'm sure I have. I can't remember a specific instance, but I sort of remember being chastised for doing something like that inadvertently, but I don't remember the details. Prompt 7. If spoilers ruin novels, are there some authors or genres you can't reread? So I'm very picky about it, what I read. I tend to like to reread things. For instance, I love Georgette Hare, and I reread hers all the time. But again, they all sort of blur into one, and I have a bad memory. So I kind of like it when I'm rereading something and it's coming back to me what the story was. That's kind of a satisfying feeling. So in that sense, I really don't mind spoilers. But I guess the only time I don't want to reread something is if I was disappointed in the book, or I simply didn't like the characters, or there was something to dislike about the book. I don't want to reread all books that I enjoy, but I often reread. So no, spoilers don't ruin it for me. Prompt 8. When reviewing, are you spoiler free? I try to be now, but I don't know if I am. I'd have to have people tell me. And it does limit my ability to, the next question is, does this limit your ability to discuss? And it does, because I would like to analyze a lot more. But I get very hesitant. I get nervous because people are offended if you spoil something for them. And so I feel like people are, that I'm walking on eggshells a little bit. And I have to Tilly mentioned Jane Eyre, and how she appreciated that her mother, when she was a teenager, her mother managed to not spoil the novel for her when she went in to ask about something. And I just had that experience with my husband. He didn't know the story of Jane Eyre. Somehow he'd gotten all through life, 50, what is he, 57? I forget how old he is. And he'd never seen the movie. He didn't know the story. And he just picked it up and decided to read it. And he really found it engrossing. He really, really enjoyed it. And he couldn't put it down. But he was, he was like, what's going on with Mr. Rochester? Mr. Rochester's really weird. And he was trying to figure out who the lady was on the third floor. And he was just like, does he have a crazy sister? Or does he have some sort of illegitimate child that's, back in those days they would consider an imbecile or something like that. He was trying to figure out, and it took me so much self-control to not tell him that it was the wife. And so that was quite excruciating for a couple of days until he finished the book. And for him, I think it would have really ruined it because he loves to figure things out. I mean, that's his way. He loves that kind of thing, trying to figure out how things are going. I'm not. I'm just going along for the ride with the author, and I just want to see how the author unfolds things. And I'm not very good at guessing who did it, although sometimes it's pretty obvious. But I don't have that kind of mind like my husband does, where he's often right. He often guesses right, and I don't. So anyway, so those were the 8 prompts, and then the 9th one is shout out. Tell us about 5 channels you enjoy, and then tag them. And, I'm going to say 5 channels. I wrote them down. I left them over there, of course. So let's see if I can remember what I wrote down. I'm just picking 5 random ones that I have been going to lately. And I don't know if you already did this tag, the spoiler tag, or not. I'm sorry if I haven't kept up. And, of course, you don't have to do the tag if you don't feel like it. But the channels I've been watching lately are Tom, LA Books, and Linda, the book lady, and Booktext. And I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on her name. But Booktext, I really like your channel. And then I had 2 others. So what were the 2 others that I was going to say? Now I'm Too Fond of Books. That's a great one. And what was the other one? Seeking Stories. Seeking Stories. They're a couple. They're really cute and fun, and it would be neat to hear them talk about this. So I'm doing a shout out for those channels. I'll put them below. And if you want to do the tag, feel free to. And let's see how long I've babbled. 13. I don't know if I shed any great insight on this issue of spoilers, except to let people know that there are people out there who really don't care that much about spoilers, and I'm one of them. So, all right, that's it from me. Happy reading, and I hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.